So, you're thinking about your first trip to the United States and maybe feeling a little overwhelmed? Well, you've come to the right place. We're going to cut right through all the noise and give you the essentials, the practical stuff you actually need to start planning a really incredible trip.
Okay, let's just get right into it. This is the big one, isn't it? The US is just massive. It's so varied that trying to figure out where to start can feel a little paralyzing. You know you want to go, but on a map that big, where do you even drop the pin?
All right, so the very first thing you got to get your head around is this. You're not really planning a trip to just one place. You're planning a trip to a country of wild, fascinating contrasts, and that's its biggest attraction. And yeah, its biggest challenge. And this quote from an experienced traveler, it just nails it. You're not just visiting one country. You're basically exploring 50 different cultures, 50 different landscapes, all packed into one. I mean, think about it. The vibe on the streets of New Orleans and the high-tech buzz of Seattle, they couldn't be more different, but they're in the same country. It's wild. So, with all that choice, the easiest way to start is to narrow it down. For most first-timers, that comes down to making one classic choice to build your trip around, and that's picking a coast. So let's break down that big east versus west decision. And this is probably the first real decision you're going to make. New York City or Los Angeles. In our minds, they're these two huge cultural anchors of the country, right? But they represent two completely different versions of what a trip to America can be. So what's your vibe? Are you looking for that nonstop 24/7 energy of New York? You know, a city just packed with history where you can walk for hours and literally feel its heartbeat? Or are you dreaming of the sunny, super laid-back sprawl of LA, defined by its beaches, that Hollywood magic, and a car culture that, trust me, you'll need to embrace to get around? But hey, who says you have to choose? There's a third option. If you've got a little more time, say 3 weeks or more, why not do both? A cross-country trip is like the ultimate American adventure. It's a big commitment for sure, but it is the only way to really get a feel for the incredible scale of the place. But look, an American trip is so much more than just cities. The country's real identity, you could argue, was forged in its wide open spaces. So let's look past the skyscrapers and into the wild heart of the USA. America's national parks are, I think, one of its greatest gifts to the world. Seriously. Seeing the Earth just open up in front of you at the Grand Canyon, or watching geysers just erupt at Yellowstone, these aren't just photo ops. They are absolutely bucket list experiences that you'll remember forever. Okay, now listen up, because this is maybe the single most important piece of advice for any first-timer. To see those amazing parks, or even just to get between most cities, you have to respect the distance. A flight from New York to LA is 6 hours. The drive from LA to the Grand Canyon, that can be an 8-hour day. You have to build those full travel days into your plan. It's a huge country. All right, so let's move beyond the places and talk about the on-the-ground experience. You know, the cultural stuff you won't always find in a guidebook, but absolutely need to know. So besides the giant buildings and the amazing views, what's the stuff that really catches first-timers off guard? You know, what do people actually come home talking about? You know, it almost always comes down to two big things. First, the people. A lot of visitors are really surprised by how friendly and talkative strangers can be, especially once you get out of the big, busy cities. And second, the food. The portion sizes are, well, they're legendary for a reason. Everything's bigger. And yeah, this quote here, it's a joke, but it's also, not a bad idea at all. Between the massive portions and all the incredible food you're going to want to try, packing some comfy pants is genuinely solid advice. Okay, we've talked coasts, we've talked parks, we've talked culture. So let's wrap this all up into a simple plan to help you start building your own American adventure. So here it is, your 4-step plan. Step 1, choose your vibe. Just decide on the energy you're after. And, even before that, make sure you get your paperwork sorted, like your visa or an ESTA. Step 2, mix in some nature. Is this an all-city trip, or are you going to make time for those epic landscapes? Step 3, respect the clock. This is so important. Plan for full travel days, not just hours. And finally, step 4, pack smart for the adventure and maybe for the food. Because at the end of the day, a trip to the USA isn't just a trip, it's a story. And you're the one holding the pen. So, is it going to be a tale of towering skyscrapers and bright city lights, or one of epic road trips and sunsets over the canyon? The only real question left is, where will your story begin?